Hello again, once again, to all the fine folks who are tuning in whenever, wherever, and however they're doing so to this podcast recap show of the Sci-Fi Original Series Revival. We have gone through all 10 episodes now with the co-creators and showrunners, Aaron B. Kuntz and Luke Boyce, and their watch has officially ended. But we do have a little bit of a season wrap-up here, and the we in question, your trusty co-host, myself, Sean Talley, and joining me as she has done, start to finish, even on birthdays, she is Liz MacArthur. How are you, Liz?
Hey, I'm good. A little sad.
I know.
I
It seems
know.
like every show is getting renewed or canceled, and we've heard nothing of note about Revival yet, but everybody keep on hitting the hashtags and everything else, and we will see if we do see you again, so we do not
Yeah.
make you sad.
We're ending on a cliffhanger, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Literally on the
Yeah.
cliffs of some remote location.
I'm literally on a cliff about to jump off if they don't renew it.
I'm staring out the window, and you're in a little scarf behind me. You're like, why are you there, and why are we alive? I don't know. Much like Revival. But yes, thank you, Liz. Thank you all for tuning into this program. We're going to talk to some of the crew who made this season of Revival possible in a bit here. But before we do, Liz and I are going to run down a bit of our favorite stuff from said season. So I did ask her to answer a little questionnaire I wrote up that I was answering myself. So we'll start with what was everyone's favorite episode. I know the gentleman, Aaron in particular, said he was the most proud of number 6, I believe. I think Luke has mentioned 8 as well. I think they both said 6 and 8, but reflecting on it now, I think episode 108, which was A Rose and a Thorn, I thought the flashback showing Jesse Blackdeer and his fugitive style quest to prove his innocence and find his daughter was really good and contained maybe the most beautiful moments and sequence of the show for me. I loved how it ended. That body recovery moment kind of through Jesse's reconnecting with his passenger. So I think in hindsight, 8 really did end up being my favorite one. How
That
about
was a
you?
good one. I think so. Like, I would say the last one, but just because all my brain boards got answered. But I think I'm going to say the first one because when I rewatched it, I think I appreciated everybody's relationships more and the actors' chemistry more the second time because the first time I didn't know what I was getting into really. I mean, I
Mhm.
did. I read the comic, but and then also just noticing little hints of stuff that I didn't notice the first time was really fun. I can't wait to rewatch the whole thing because I think
That's
it'll
right.
be
You
like that
mentioned
the
a
whole
couple
time.
weeks ago that you had revisited
Yeah.
the pilot during the run and caught so many more things. I'm
Yeah.
excited to do the same. I know they've mentioned how it's rewarding on multiple viewings, so I have no doubt after us getting the benefit of hearing firsthand insight week to week, we'll know what to look for too, I think, going forward. But yeah, the pilot had to do a lot of heavy lifting and it did a good job of it. So yeah, not a dud in the bunch. We've mentioned that too.
Mm.
Like there was not one episode where we were like, well, they kind of skirt. Even privately, we would never say like,
Yeah.
man, they really fell asleep on this one. But yeah, it was a solid
Right.
season. We've
Yeah.
talked
There was
about.
no filler. I feel that there was not a filler
Mhm.
episode.
I don't feel like people even know what filler is. According to the internet, it's anything that's not driving a plot immediately for them. Makes me crazy.
Mm.
Although they don't say that about binge shows, funny enough, because they get to watch them in sequence.
That's
so.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
These
It's been a
week to
long
weeks.
time. I haven't
Yeah.
watched a show like this
Yeah.
like since the 90s. That's not true, but feels like
Yeah.
it though.
When you have week to week, you have time for think pieces and all kinds of crazy reactionary stuff. But when you can barrel through, you don't, harp on those episodes
Yeah.
as much.
And
So.
you don't, because you don't know what's what. It all just feels like one
Yeah.
long movie.
Yeah, Netflix has some shows that don't even have cliffhangers. It's just like credits next.
That is true. It just ends.
And I kind of hate that. I do like any moment you stop a show should be like a moment that's like a cliffhanger of sorts for the ending. But that's me being old and dumb.
No, that's how books work too.
Exactly. Yeah. Good moment to end a chapter is a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So, no, agreed. So yeah, you said pilot. I said 108. I think for favorite moments / scenes, I harken back to a couple things. As much as first of all, the thing that has always stuck out to me, and I was literally laughing out loud during the moment, was when Dana and Wayne have their fake fight that's luring the soldiers into the room to their house. That one stands out a lot. And then also just, I was not sure what to expect with her once the Brent reveal happened, but the fight scene, To Never Surrender, and her ending it with the TV kill, those two certainly stick out to me.
That's so good. And that surprised me. Anyways, first of all, you stole mine because mine is also the fake fight. That was really exciting.
Yeah.
And But if I had to say one that wasn't also your favorite, I would say probably how CM Punk died. Wasn't it broken bone to the face?
Rip, bone exposed. Uppercut, yeah.
Like usually I like horror and everything, but I tend to look away. There was no time. I saw it. I saw the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, again, standout episode again, number 6, start to finish. Again, her going spider monkey on big check.
Oh my God.
All the big checks. We didn't see the one, but Andrew, I believe, was the one who got the raid style mounting and multiple stabbings. So yeah, favorite performance. This is, again, of course, not to slight anyone else's performances, of course, but the one that stood out to me personally, I'm going to shout out Andy McQueen as Dr. Ibrahim Ramin. I was actually unfamiliar with him before this series, and I've since seen some of the shows he's on, and I've saved him to my watch list and things, but I just feel like he nailed every scene. I don't think there was a false note in this season with him. The guys called him the moral compass of the show, so he's my kind of standout.
I love him too. He was so good in Mrs. Davis. Haven't had to say it out loud.
Right, the Peacock show. Aaron had said, I think that they caught him on that, and that was part of.
Oh my God, he was so good in that, and I could not. But I told you, I don't know if I doubt I said it on the podcast. I was sweating. I was so nervous. I could not believe I got to talk to him. Not going to say who he is on Mrs. Davis. I almost did, so I don't ruin it for anyone.
Is that a reveal? Okay,
it's something kind of.
Say no more.
Yep. But also my favorite was Everyone. You didn't think to say that. But also,
I gave a good qualifier. If everybody's good, but
also everybody's good, but also. Yeah. I think my favorite was Brent because he fooled me, and he made me a fool. So good job, Brent.
Yeah,
if that's your real name.
Honorable mention to Brant with a D. Yeah, Mark Little, I believe they said was the actor's name. Yes, he was fantastic, and you're right. He was all shucksy enough that he threw you off the scent.
Yeah, he got me.
And then turned real son of a bitch when he finally got revealed.
I wasn't ready for that. He really betrayed me.
I threw this one in here today, so apologies. Don't think too hard on it. But I was thinking, in the vein of like what character do you most relate to? I thought, what character would you most like to sit down and have a meal with? While you're thinking, I'll give you a couple of mine.
Okay.
I think if it was just one, just for the stories, maybe I might go with Uncle Don. That's a little dark horse pick. Okay. But if I had a couple, like a dinner for 3, maybe K and M together, just for their bullshit stories.
Yes, that would be great.
And if I'm doing a full dinner for 5, John Favreau style, me plus 4, I'm going to say I just invite the Cypress family so I could be entertained by their infighting. Oh
my gosh, you wouldn't have to do anything. Just observe. Yeah.
Yeah, just say something about what M's done in the past, and Wayne starts screaming, and then Dan starts screaming at him.
You just instigate.
And then you just start whispering to Cooper, like, these guys.
I guess I have a similar answer. I think it would have to be Dana and M, because I think I'd like to be the third sister. And maybe one of them could cut my bangs, They
have both had bangs in their past, as we know.
Yeah, so... I don't know, like some bang advice.
I feel like there'd be tears because you'd set them up, and there's so much unspoken of years of unspokenness between them that they'd start just. Oh, and I'd bring it up like, oh, remember when your mom died? Just sit back, and then I'd comfort them. It's classic narcissist moves. Yeah, right. Yeah, just make them sad and then cheer them up, and then they're attached to you. Yeah. And then we're your sisters. Dinner is a little more manipulative than what I was thinking. Oh, more than I thought when I started talking. You like sneak the camera phone. You're like just watching it all go down. Yeah. But no, again, fantastic season. As we've talked about, we've talked to many actors. We've talked to Aaron and Luke every episode, and then we got to talk to Tim and Mike on the last recap. But we want to pitch now to a talk with an editor of the bulk of the episodes and the director of the second block. That is Curt Lobb and Samir Rehem, respectively. So without further ado, let's talk with those guys. And I will say just one little programming note. If you're a watcher of the video version, there's a bit of a freeze at the beginning with Samir. And then if you're an audio listener, a bit of a robotic voice here. But his internet patchy as it was, does straighten out after a few seconds. So apologies for the little technical snafu. It was bound to happen eventually. But yeah, enjoy this talk with Curt and Samir. All right, we are happy to chat with a couple of the talented gents who helped make Revival happen here. First up, he is a director who's helmed multiple episodes of television series, including Degrassi: The Next Generation and Chucky, and he was the director behind the second block of Revival's season. He is Samir Rehem. Welcome to the show, Samir.
Oh, yeah.
Good to have you. And we are joined as well by an editor who has worked on films including BLACKBERRY and television series including Dark Side of the Ring. And that's near and dear to me, a lifelong wrestling fan. And he was the editor for a handful of Revival episodes as well. He is Curt Lobb. Welcome to the program as well, Curt.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
No, we're so glad to have both of you here. We talked with Aaron and Luke week to week on recaps of the episodes, but we certainly wanted to have some of the very talented crew who helped make it happen join us here. So yes, thank you both.
Thank you. And we'd like to go back to the early days before jumping into the Revival talk, and we ask our guests, was movie stuff or TV film, was it always the path for you, or did you have like big dreams of doing something else before it found you?
Samir, go for it.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you need to think about it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I started off I went to York University first here in Toronto for visual arts. Like, that's what I came out of high school doing. And I ended up taking this like photography course with like this very like eccentric photography teacher who sort of inspired me. And he had like a very provocative, almost erotic book that he had done, which was weird. I guess when you're like, 19 years old and your prof is like showing you, look at these photos I took. And at the time, my dad was like sort of dabbling as an editor. Like he had his own business in the 80s and he was really interested in documentary filmmaking and stuff like that. And he had bought an edit system, and Curt probably knows what this is. It was like one of the first non-linear editing systems called a Media 100. And he sort of set that up in our house. And I remember spending the summer fooling around with that. And then I applied to film school at York and at Ryerson, now formerly Ryerson, now known as Toronto Film School, I think. But that, I think that doing that, I didn't get into York and I got into Ryerson, and then that was sort of the path. And I think that very first year there, I'd met a lot of people in that class who are still like, very prominent in the business today. Like that DP named Jeremy Benning, who is like, very prolific DP, and the EGC now, Warren, all these people with, and we basically made music videos with this company, Block Productions, in the 90s, and that was my education, which sort of led to this. But I worked as an editor actually for a long time, I think almost 12 years before I started directing.
Curt, what about you?
So I want to ask Samir if he knows Andrea Stewart.
Oh,
Did Andrea go to school with you?
Oh, and I don't know, but the name is so familiar, quite possibly.
She went to school with Warren. She was, I think, in the same year as Warren. That's why I asked. Anyways, small.
I think Warren was like 1 year ahead of me, and then, but we all sort of converged. Like I could like name a handful of people. We were all like, making these music videos in the 90s. Like at the time, Much Music was just coming out because MTV was, obviously very popular in the US, and Much Music had started to make these investments called Video Fact or Much Fact. I can't remember what they were called at the time. And they would like hand out like $10,000, like basically put in an application and you get like a $10,000 grant. And we were making music videos for all these like bands like Treble Charger and all these like Toronto local bands, in the 90s, which was a blast. It was wild. I would spend the entire weekend PAing on videos, and then go back to school on Monday. So
yeah, that's wicked.
I think film found me, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say
Stalked
too.
You.
Yeah, I'll say that Samir's editing background was really great when it came to working with him on the revival edits because, some directors don't have that experience in that past. And it was really great because sometimes Samir would have an idea and be like, hey, can you try this? And he'd know like exactly what to suggest because he's done it before. Or he would suggest something, we would go to do it, and then right away it would become obvious like that's not going to work for certain reasons, and he would be able to like identify it right away. So that was really, really cool. Anyway, I always said I wanted to be an artist when I was young, and I didn't even know really what that meant. I guess I like to draw. And then in high school, I saw a show called The Brendan Leonard Show, which is a dude from Chicago who made a cable access show initially with his friends and family. And then it became an ABC Family show. And I thought, that's so cool. And it looks like so doable. Like, this is kind of, pre-YouTube culture. And so it was like the first time seeing like, oh, maybe I could do something like that. And not that I wasn't like a huge movie fan my whole life, but those always seemed unattainable, I think, for like a small town Canadian boy. But that looked like something that, oh, that's someone like me could do that. And then I started experimenting with like shooting and editing especially. And then I really loved editing. And I went to film school at Humber in Toronto. And then I just kept editing, and then met some really cool, great people that were also making film. And then I was able to do some of my earlier projects with that group, and they're called Zapruder Films. And then just actually with some of those movies, something called Operation Avalanche that I edited, that was my first feature, is something that Aaron Coots saw, I think, at South by Southwest in like 2016. And so then he remembered me from then. And then when it came time to get a Canadian crew for Revival, he reached out kind of based on that and some projects I'd done since then. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Oh my God, he's your stalker.
That's right. Yeah. And then he came and lived here in my town.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. That's red flag.
We weren't even making a show yet. It was just one and then he came for the edit process during the worst winter we've had in, I'd say, 15 years. Poor Aaron came and lived around here. And he was editing with myself and one of the other editors, Mark Hussey, who owns this train station with my cousin, and that they've converted to like a post-production studio in our small little town. Anyway, so then poor Aaron had to drive like 3 hours from Toronto, live here off and on for a few months, and come to our office. But it was really awesome. And I think he had a good time whenever he wasn't like snowed in and incapable of getting here. Yeah.
I don't know where to pick up from everything you just said.
I know. I want to ask a lot of questions.
I know, right? I will say, hey, people who go to film festivals, please know networking is such a big part of it. Shake hands with people, talk to people. You never know who you're going to run into later. We got ourselves over and got some gigs from, networking at film festivals over the years. And again, him running into Kurt at South by and maybe talking him up. You remember?
I'll clarify. I wasn't even there. He just saw the movie and liked it a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you met him there. Okay.
No, sorry. I think he met some of the other crew, but he just saw the movie and liked it enough that he was like, I think that editor's good. And then that's, yeah.
Well, what I said still stands. You should still do that.
That's right. Yes.
So Samir, when it comes to, directing television versus directing film, in the former, it does feel like, especially in this case with Revival, but we can talk about just in the broader sense, you are a producer of sorts by default, in that you're also figuring out how to condense shots, how to cut locations, how to do things. You have the editing background too, so you're kind of thinking about the edit as well. So not just the movie you're planning to do, the movie you shoot, the movie you edit. So how do you kind of approach them differently, or do you at all? Or is there any kind of a different kind of phase one for you when it comes to TV versus film?
I mean, I would love to say that I have this vast background in making feature films, but I don't. I've made a couple like sort of indie films and TV movies, but so this process has been like sort of my upbringing. Like I think since 2006 is really when I started. But TV making, I think specifically Canadian television, we generally work with smaller budgets, shorter time frames, and you're sort of required to sort of like already have that ability to sort of like pivot and change and sort of take a look at that bigger picture and be responsible for your schedule and everything. So I think inherently that was already sort of, I had that in place, and I had the benefit of coming second and not going first. So I was able to kind of see what was happening and take a look at what their schedule was and sort of start to ring all the alarm bells. So, like, I think if you talk to Aaron and Luke, they would say I was very much like in the beginning, like very like in panic mode, right? And it was simply because I was like, we have more work than we have time or capacity or bandwidth to do. And, so very early on, I was trying to make suggestions on ways to sort of be a bit more efficient with our process so that we could really focus on the things that we were going to do. And their scope was so big. And I think that there was a bit of a learning curve for them because they were coming out of indie films. And I think there's a bit like you have more autonomy when working in indies. Like you're like, well, if we can't quite do it like this, then we'll do that, pick that up next week with a smaller crew or this or that. Whereas there's a lot of restrictions working with union crews, and there's a lot of rules that you have to adhere to. And so I'm accustomed to those things and trying to make changes to sort of like just take those things into account. But so we met in the middle, and I think by the end of it, I'm sure Luke and Aaron had a much more insight on what that process is. And I'm sure that, if there's season 2, I hope there is, that they're going to probably make a lot of changes on their end too, on how they move forward. So, did I answer that question? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, we also, with the block scheduling, just so folks know, we've talked about it throughout the run of the show, but 5 episodes were blocked and directed by Amanda Rowe, and then you did the second half, but you were prepping those 5 while they were shooting those first 5. So maybe you saw the fires going off and you knew like, okay, I'm able to put some of these out on my side, maybe going forward. But yeah. Or you saw how much of a condensing and budget constraint you were having before you stepped in.
And just to be clear, in like the 20 years I've been doing this, I've never worked on a show that has done 5 1 hour, has block shot 5 1 hours. So that alone was like, if there was a Guinness Book of World Records for how many episodes you could possibly block, this could be up there,
Right.
It's sort of like flying a plane with like no wings, like it's really precarious. Yeah.
And then Curt, you got the kind of the king's load of like the pilot, the finale, a couple of the larger episodes. And I don't know if that was by design, but because of that block shooting, was it every bit of footage had to be ready and then it got sent to an editor? Because I know you shared the load with a few other editors, but how did that work for you when it came to that process?
Well, we had a really great post team, like I said, a fellow editor, Mark Hussey, that works here with me, and Sandy Pereira came on as another editor. And I got to give a shout out to the assistants, Shane and Raval and Emily, and then Verona eventually. It was like a real all hands on deck as far as prepping things and kind of getting a look, like a real rough kind of look at everything right at the gate. But then I definitely got the privilege of getting those, I think, like really exciting episodes, or some of the really like action-packed ones. And we definitely, because of the block shooting, they're jumping all over the place to different episodes. Lots of different scenes from different episodes would be coming in at different times. So we would assemble things as they came in, but often not know like, okay, what's going to go between here. So you never, not that that's totally unusual, but it's still like you kind of had to look at it a bit fragmented until finally we'd get everything, and then you could really go nuts on it. But I think, some things like in episode 1, I think there's something from the first episode that was shot last, which is like Em and Dana in the vehicle, like that moment. So that was really cool. Once some pieces came in that really felt like, oh, this really ties everything together. That was great. But I'll also say, along with like the crazy shooting, like the editing schedule was pretty nuts too. Like it was pretty fast turnarounds. And the best part is once you pull something off like this, then everyone expects that you can do it again. So I'm sure on season 2, less time, less money. Just kidding. Hopefully that's not the case.
Let's hope it's only one or none of those things.
Yeah. No, hopefully they see like, wow, we were able to pull this off, and just with a bit more time and resources, like what else could we do? But anyway,
Curt, you would also say too, like I remember Curt would be sitting there trying to work something through, and he would be like, it's really crazy to me the ratio of footage that we're actually using compared to what we're not using. Whereas like, you would go and you would shoot stuff and maybe some setups don't make it in or some takes don't make it in. But the reality was we were so like, it had to be such precision filming and editing that you almost used everything and made it work, and I think to Kurt's, like, to demonstrate his ability, also he had very little ingredients and still made like a 5-course meal. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they really like elevated. Like I look back at the show and just every stage sort of just brought the show up more and more and more. And in the edit, things like, we at some point you just stop looking at the script. And you're just looking at what you have in front of you. And then all the what ifs come out. Well, what if this? What if that? And so I think Aaron and Luke's sort of, their ability to sort of like pivot and make change and not be afraid or not be so like attached to the things that they had written, and to sort of like rewrite and rethink and recalibrate to make the best show possible. I think that's really where the show excelled, is once we hit post, then you start realizing, oh, wow, we really have something like really good here. And then that sort of encourages you to go further.
Speaking of all that, actually, did you have a moment that ranks as like the most challenging piece to put together and edit, Kurt? Or
you know what? Mark Hussey is shaking his head in right now. Oh. You should say hi, Mark. Hey. Oh, I might go all weird if I'm like, anyways, this is Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Talking Revival. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for the pop in.
Yeah, something super challenging. Episode 6. I mean, it's so funny because episode 6, I think right away, at least from my experience, I felt like, oh, this is awesome and working really great, but also has some big, like, just things we have to figure out. And like Samir said, it was this crazy thing where everything we got was like so great and working so well. And like these ingredients he's talking about, which I was very spoiled because they were really well done, but there was some things that we just didn't always have, like the connective tissue, I guess, between certain beats. And so it was kind of figuring out with what we had, how we could recontextualize things and just kind of create things that we didn't have. Like, for example, that one shot of the cop car where the camera's rigged to the car, like we doubled that shot up and flipped it and did a bunch of things to try to just create new transitions from one scene to the next, and then just, I guess, give, sneak in ADR and stuff in those moments and make sure everything was tracking. But otherwise, yeah.
I mean, you're being humble because like they literally I feel like you built, sometimes scenes were built from like scraps of other scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like rebuilding entirely new scenes from like outtakes or just a moment before action was called or something. Like that's how I think that's how scrappy like the production was, and so that I think that's a real testament to the talent that was on the back end of this show.
Yeah,
sorry, I just have to like say it, man. Like,
oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
You crushed. So
yeah, another example that comes to mind was I think it's when Miles Miller is getting injected, or is it? Yeah, or when Rhodey is. But anyways, there was a scene that they shot like wide coverage and close-ups and all these things, but we realized it would be great if we had a scene like that in the previous episode. So like Mark and Aaron were back there, and I was here, and we were figuring out like what shots they were going to use and what shots I would use so that it didn't look like it was from the same moment. And then we were able to build this totally separate scene, even though it was all shot for one thing. Anyway, yeah, there's quite a few examples like that, which was unique, especially for me because I am used to working on lots of productions where we go completely in the other way, too far, where we just shoot a bunch of stuff and it's like improv and there's a very loose script. So it's been fun to be on both sides of that.
Speaking of this, actually, maybe not just me, but I keep bringing up the blooper reel that hasn't been made. Right, you guys would know better than anyone. How good is this potential blooper reel?
It's great. Even I feel I've cut some like blooper reels in the past, and what I try to include is little sneak peeks of like, oh, this was actually like fully shot for a different reason, or here's like a little thing that you didn't know, like trying to reveal some of the tricks as well, which we have lots of anyway. Samir. Do you know of some bloopers?
Oh no, I don't. Every day was one big blooper for
Yeah,
me.
lots of crying behind the scenes, tears. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's me again. I'm back. Do you guys have any hobbies or interests outside of all of this that might surprise people? Or do you not have time for hobbies?
You know, Kurt probably works a lot more than me. Like it's such a. I think this business is it's challenging to get a job, and then when you have a job, it's challenging to make that job. So you spend like, when I mean, for example, this show, I think I flew out early September, and I came back home just before Christmas. So you kind of like pick up and you leave, and then when you're there, I would show up, and just even in prep, I would, show up around 8 o'clock. I'd probably go home around 8 or 9 that evening, and you're exhausted and you crash, and then you kind of do it all over again. And then on the weekends, you're working also, because you just sort of like everything. It just your whole life becomes the show. So when you're off, then, I'm busy being a dad again, or trying to like make up for that lost time and make sure that my wife doesn't want to like leave me because I'm like, completely vacant from our lives. So any hobbies I do have are probably not that interesting. It's like trying to, go cycling or be healthy or whatever. But as far as like anything artistic or fun, I think that like I all of that, I get all of that energy that from what I'm doing in my career. Does that make sense?
Yep. So you can ride a bike.
Hockey. I was gonna say I like road hockey. You know what? I also want to give a shout out to Spencer Hahn, our post super, because he really kept the train on the tracks as well. So he deserves a lot of love. You know what? Another hobby I suppose I have in the last couple of years, my brother Matt and his brother-in-law Brad and I have been making our own Ecto, like a Ghostbusters replica car. Only it's not exactly. It's more like a cartoony, like toy version of an Ecto, if you can imagine that. Instead, because we only could get a 1991 hearse, and but it looks cool, and I kind of just finished it, and we're calling it Ecto HC. And you
have to send us a picture of that.
Yeah, I will. We just debuted it last week at a parade, and it was really cool.
You were at a parade?
Yep. Yeah. Although I once again wasn't there, just like South by Southwest. My brother and his brother-in-law were there. Yeah. Anyway, I edit too much, I guess, is my problem.
You have better time management skills than I do, clearly.
Right. Yeah.
That's a fun little side project, though, of all things.
Yeah. It's been cool. It's been great. But now we have it, and we're like, well, here it is. We don't really know. I guess we just drive it around, show people.
If nothing else, you're being a couple parades a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So one of the other questions we like to ask folks is, do either of you have like a dream project you'd like to work on, be it editing? I know you're an artist as well, Kurt, be it something you could draw, maybe a comic book even. Is there an existing IP you'd like to tackle, a genre you'd like to tackle for both of you? Is there some kind of a bucket list project out there for you?
I have one, and I'll make it quick. I'd love to edit a Scream movie. That's what I love to do. I love horror movies, and that franchise in particular, I really love. And I'm a sucker for all of them. Doesn't matter how good or bad they are. I'll eat them all up forever. That's my answer. Go for
That's amazing. I don't know. I'm like really like a sci-fi junkie. Like I read a lot of sci-fi. I watch like almost maybe exclusively sci-fi, but and I've never really had an opportunity. I mean, a few times I did a show called Killjoys for Sci-Fi Network, and some space shows. But I think if I like one of my favorite movies is that Moon with Sam Rockwell, and I would love to do like a really solid like one-hander or two-hander like space movie would be amazing. I would just that to me the process of that feels like it would be like a very intimate experience and a very creative process in a genre that I love. So I don't know what that would be, but if you got any good sci-fi scripts, send them to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Noted.
Would love to see. It's my favorite genre as well. I would love to see you do something in the vein of Moon for sure.
Oh my,
Yeah.
Me too.
And then I know we talked kind of off air as we were coming on here how the show itself was a minor miracle. You talked about, Samir, with just some of the constraints and stuff, but any kind of larger, just want to recap what you told us off air about it, just the trials and tribulations. You said kind of in hindsight, a worthwhile experience, but was there anything that stands out to you about this show other than hopefully we get that season 2?
I mean, this show, this show is one of those shows where everything just sort of came together, like the cast and the crew and all the people involved. Like everyone felt like they were equally invested in this show and really wanted it to succeed. So I think that's a big part why it did. And there's a lot of moving parts in production and a lot of variables. And we were shooting in New Brunswick, which was another sort of like first, where in St. John, New Brunswick, there aren't a lot of film or commercial or like any production. So there's really no infrastructure to support a production of that size. So that was something that was a challenge. Like if a piece of equipment broke down, it's not like you could just call the rental house and say, oh, this broke and can you send us a new one? Sure, it'll be there in 15 minutes. If that piece of equipment broke down, like even no matter how small it was, it could likely shut down the whole production because it would have to be shipped from Toronto or shipped from Vancouver or come from a bigger sort of production hub. So yeah, it is a miracle that the show happened because we were lucky enough not to like have any real major obstacles and yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but yeah, I mean, I'm it's one of those things. I'm just like, when you're in the experience, you kind of have your head down and you're just like trying to really do your best to get through it and sort of stay true to your your creative instincts and trying to be an artist, but at the same time, trying to overcome those challenges. So yeah. Sorry, that was a terrible answer.
No, not at all. And then Kurt, we were learning that no one's ever actually met except Aaron. He just hides out in the train station.
Right. Yeah.
But no, Kurt, we're glad to have you on the show as well too. I'm glad to know Aaron thought enough of you in that film at South by to reach out to you.
To hit me up. He did. Yeah. I'm very happy too. It's been awesome to be a part of this show. I really do hope it gets a second season. Right.
And then where does this Ecto HC live? How close to a major city?
Lives in our town. It's weird. I edit in this town called Goderich. I live in an even smaller town called Clinton, which is like 15 minutes away. And so I guess it's around here. This whole region is called Huron County, and that's why we called it Ecto HC. So we're like an hour. Well, have you been to anywhere?
To Toronto.
Oh, you have?
Montreal.
Okay. So yeah, we're like 3 hours west.
Oh, you're out there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Again, it's crazy that Aaron would come out here and live here. So thank you to Aaron. I know Luke would have loved to, but he had just spent many months in Canada, and he had to go home.
At some point, he didn't want his daughter to not remember his face.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was understandable. Samir can relate. He knows. Got to go back and remind them that your papa.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, gentlemen, we appreciate the time, first of all, joining us today, threading a needle for scheduling as we joked about. But if nothing else beyond like an Instagram, we'll tag for you guys when it comes to show notes. But if there's anywhere else you'd like to direct people, whether it's a website or some other social media, let us know.
Samir, do you have any ectos or anything that you want to?
Well, I'm so terrible at social media. But if you were looking for me, strangely enough, I think like way back when I remember trying to get a Gmail account and I randomly typed 3 words together, which were soda, Sam, and sun. Like not sun in the sky, but like the son of a the son and why can I describe it? Of a father? So like soda, Sam, son. And that has become my handle across all socials, which is literally nothing to do with me except for the fact that it's always available whenever I use it.
I love that strategy.
We'll link to those for sure. Like I said, in the show notes at paperstreetpodcast.com, we'll have some of those and some of your other work as well. But again, gentlemen, thank you for everything you did on Revival. We are happy to have been able to talk to some crew. We talked enough to the pretty faces, to the actors, and we don't need to hear Luke and Aaron's voice anymore. So that we're finally glad to get some crew on here that helped make this show happen. And again, bang up job by both of you in many, many ways. So thank you once again. We'll let you go, and let's hope we find you again on season 2.
Yes, thank you, miracle workers.
Yes, thank you you guys for spreading the word. They're doing such a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very good point. I think it's really important what you guys are doing too to like get it out there and let people know and give them insight on the show. So thank you.
Oh no, certainly.
Yes,
Wouldn't even call it a job.
We were fishing.
The show was fun. The show was good, so it made for an easy several weeks in a row to do this, and yeah, had a blast. Can't wait to do it again, hopefully. So, all right, but yeah, take care, gents. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, our thanks again to Curt and Samir. They were a lot of fun to talk to. We had as much fun off air, I think, BSing with them as well. But bang up job by both. And apparently no one's ever really seen Curt except Aaron, who has visited the train station.
Just moved right in.
Train station. And then, yeah, Mark with a surprise appearance, too. That was fun. So, yeah, I'm interested in the Ecto car. Hope to see it someday.
Oh, my gosh.
Personally.
So crazy.
So, Liz, that. I know, right? That's what your question is. I'm glad we kept asking that question. And speaking of questions, I'm going to do something here that we've the regular Old Paper Street podcast that I have hosted for a few years now with Becky Sayers, which will return now that this show is finishing up. We would always do a thing with guests called the Rapid Fire 15, and it was just like a general questionnaire. We jokingly called it like a genre-bending version of the Proust questionnaire from Inside the Actor Studio, where James Lipton would be like, "What is your favorite curse word?" Yeah. And those kind of things. So, the truth is,
what is your favorite curse word?
Much like Sam Jackson and others, it's motherfucker.
Oh, okay. Motherfucker. I think mine is cunt. I think I don't use it, so it's powerful.
Yeah, it's reserved for special cases of horrible people, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it feels really good to say.
They're all good. Let's be honest.
Words of power.
Long story short, the truth is I've listened to podcasts since their kind of origin, and I've stolen questions here and there. Like Brett Goldstein always asks people about like, what's the first movie that gave you nightmares? I've stolen that one. I think Jay Moore used to ask people about their walk-up music. I stole that one. So between that and just general things that we were interested in learning about people, I've formulated this over time. Becky's added some questions as well.
So it's the perfect list.
It's not. It's still it's ever becoming perfect.
Okay. All right.
We're trying to form a more perfect union of questions. Let's say that.
Okay.
Much like the Constitution.
Oh, also perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I was making sure that wasn't the declaration. We the people. Yeah, mixing up my American documents. Who cares? They're all on fire anyway. Nobody's abiding by them. So.
Doesn't matter.
Sorry, always bringing it down. So yeah, long story short, what we do is it's not even 15. We combined a few and condensed a few. But I want to ask you, and I'll answer them as well. Becky and I did a test episode one time where we sort of answered some of these questions, but it's been years, so my answers may have changed. Who knows? But this is a little bit about we're the two people you've heard the most, so now it's time to get to know your hosts, if I may. Accidentally rhyme there.
Sorry.
One of the questions we do always ask folks that you can answer first is, what movie do you think you've seen the most in your life?
You're asking me first? I go first? Okay.
I'll start going on first after, since I'm putting
it's okay. It's okay. I actually know the answer to this. I'm not proud of it. It's a movie that no one in the world has seen, except for me. It's called Rid of Me. You've never seen it, and you can't see it because it's nowhere. I bought it on Apple TV when I went to vacation. It's supposed to be and I went on vacation, and it was the only movie I downloaded, so I had to watch. It was like the only thing I could watch. We didn't have Wi-Fi, so I just watched it the whole vacation when I couldn't sleep. It's supposed to be a dark comedy. I can't even tell. It's about, I don't even know how to tell you about. It's the worst movie I've ever seen.
Rid of Me. I don't even, it doesn't even ring a bell.
Because it's not, you can't watch it in. I think you can maybe pay on Vimeo to watch it. I had the DVD once. I got like the dude I'm married to bought it for my birthday like many years ago. And I lent it to a friend. And then my friend died. And so I couldn't get it back.
Oh, wow.
So I only have it on Apple TV now. But it's about, this is taking too long.
Oh, no, I have follow-up questions here. Hold on.
I'm qualifying it. It's a movie about a guy or a woman who goes home with, she eloped with this man, and like his group of friends is like so mean to her, and everyone's so mean to her, but she's a lunatic. And she changes halfway through the film and turns into a bad girl. It's the dumbest. I love it so much.
Okay, so it is I don't like to use the term guilty pleasure. People should like what they like, but you're acknowledging it's not good, but you do love it.
It's like a comfort. I watch it when I'm, it's like a comfort movie.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if he bought you the DVD because it was like a hate watch. The way you were talking about it was like I was forced to watch it over and over because it was all I had, but you do like it. I've
grown to like it. I'm still trying to understand it. And I swear to you, I've seen it at least 30 times.
I'll be searching this one up.
Good luck.
I'd never heard of it yet. Any notable actors or known faces in it, or?
No. Katie O'Grady is probably. Oh wait. The dude from Everclear is in it.
Art something. What's his name?
He's randomly in it.
Okay, I forget his last name.
Yeah.
All right. Fun. That was certainly not an answer I was expecting.
You can edit that down to just say the title.
No. The joke of Rapid Fire 15 is these answers are never rapid. It usually leads to tangents and stories.
Okay, good.
We always make fun of ourselves for that too. Like we should have never named it that. Just
right. Okay, flowed. Good. Well, what is the movie that you've seen?
I can name 6 off the top of my head that I've certainly seen 30 times or more. They include Princess Bride, the 89 Batman, probably the Goonies, Monty Python, the Holy Grail. But I really do believe it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990 because there were times where like that thing ended and we rewind the tape and play it again. Like there was, kids were over and we were playing it so much that all the generation lost of the sound and everything on that VHS. So I'm going to guess that one probably edges out the other 5 or 6 that always come to mind.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I had movies like that.
A big fan of, I'm like right at that millennial Gen X ending, millennial starting thing where like, I know a lot of Gen X's are not turtle people, but I was like young enough. I'm in the death rattle from 79 that was a thing I really got into.
Yeah, I get that. And now I wish I would have just said The Princess Bride or Goonies instead of all of the.
No, your answer was way more interesting.
Okay.
Rid of Me. Everybody look for Rid of Me. Give that thing a spike.
Let's bring it back. Yeah.
Another question we ask folks, is there a movie, a show, a song that will always make you emotional or maybe even bring you to tears?
Do you want to go first?
I have to think about this for a second.
Okay. Well, because the one for me, it comes right into my head, but I wish it wasn't the one. Moulin Rouge, which I've also seen close to 30 times.
Turns out Rid of Me is like 18th on her list. Just remembering all these other movies.
Yeah, Moulin Rouge. I never when that movie came out, I didn't like musicals. I didn't like Nicole Kidman. I just was deeply in love with Ewan McGregor, and then I watched it, and suddenly, when Ewan McGregor starts singing, I love a musical, I guess. So anyway, specifically when Nicole Kidman dies, and he says something like, "I can't go on without you," though, gets me every time.
Nice. I will say, after having kids, films where children are in peril or dying have certainly affected me more in recent years. I used to be, I'd get a little welled up at stuff at best, something like, the end of Rudy or some kind of sports movie, or just something of goodness, people being really good. Goodness in those kind of commercials and stuff you see around the holiday times will sometimes get me out of nowhere. But I'm trying to think of a particular movie that might do it every time, and nothing is coming to mind. So I will. Goodness. Yeah. Well, I've said this on the other podcast many times. The movie Arrival destroyed me because I had just had a baby and Trump had just won the first term election, and I went to that movie, and there's a whole sequence with the child in that movie that just destroyed me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Are you going to cry right now?
No, I'm past it. But in that moment, it was just like a perfect storm of like, oh, good God.
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
And then
Actually,
go ahead.
like Disney movies too, like I never think they're going to get me. Like you got to drag me to it. I always love them. Like How to Train Your Dragon. All I thought of the whole time was my cat.
Yeah.
and definitely cried. I just kept thinking it was my cat. Yeah.
The way you are with animals, I swear, like you compound it like 10 times with a child and you go, oh my gosh, that stuff starts to affect you crazy. Yeah. I remember taking my young son to Encanto, and when the whole neighborhood starts to walk up to like help them rebuild the house, like that kind of goodness stuff always gets me too now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm softy.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Empathy is not bad. Half the country.
Yeah.
It's not a weakness.
I feel like that with
virtue.
Schitt's Creek, how they did that show differently than any other show. Like people were just like kind of good to each other on that show. Like people didn't react the way like old shows where it would always be like someone comes out as gay and everyone's like mad at him. Like it was the opposite. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that specifically, but we didn't have to go through the like horrific part to get to the good part with Schitt's Creek. They didn't make us do that. They didn't rub our nose in it.
No, you are not wrong. I have to admit, I've not finished that series. My wife had finished it throughout. She like kind of binged all the way through. I'm a couple seasons from.
Hey, I'm jealous of you, man. So much is awaiting you.
Right. I always say I have to like break a leg or something and get holed up so I can catch up on a lot of TV that I'm
There's too much TV. You'll never. Good luck.
What's first film? Speaking of a stolen question, first film that really scared you, stuck with you, gave you nightmares?
I actually know this right off the bat. Actually, I don't know it. It's whatever Freddy Krueger movie is the one where the girl is like climbing up the walls and like he's invisible and he's like scratch, 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 and then she's just like a bloody figure. I don't even know what.
I know exactly what you're talking about because mine is also Freddy.
Okay. I mean, I guess that was his goal.
Yeah, we were too young to rent part 1 and part 3 Dream Warriors together, my friend Stephen Marlovitz and I. And I was so proud of myself because we watched them both, and I went to bed that night at his house in a sleepover, and I was not scared. 2 full nights later, I had the most insane Freddy Krueger nightmare that I still remember every visual from. Like, we were trying to escape my house, and we were driving down the street, and there was a line with motorcycles, and they were all Freddy turning around looking at us. There was a Freddy in the sky, which was in one of the movies. I think it was in Dream Warriors. So, yeah.
That might have actually been him.
Couple days later nightmare. I know.
That could have been him.
Maybe I was dreaming. He was in the dream. But yeah, no. I remember. But that's also like a lot of people, go, oh, I'm scared of horror movies for the rest of my life. That made me go, oh my gosh, I want more. So then I became a fan.
I feel like mine was like, I need to conquer these.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like I started to pursue more and see like, wait, that could make me affected that badly. Yeah. Still one of 3 of the most vivid dreams I've ever had that I can still remember pieces of like that, like from childhood.
That's crazy. That was like 70 years ago.
Close. I am old. You're my age. I don't want to hear it.
I know.
We learned Chuck E. Cheese. The next death rattle. Speaking of, you've mentioned Schitt's Creek, so maybe this applies, but what is your all-time favorite sitcom?
Technically, probably Golden Girls. Technically.
You have mentioned that a few times throughout the run of the show, so I believe you.
But I don't know if this counts as a sitcom, but I think it does. Like BoJack.
Mm-hmm.
That is also a show that I will watch. Is like a comfort show for me, even though it's like super depressing.
It's heavy, but it's also really funny.
But it's also really funny and really good, and he makes so many good points. Mm-hmm. It just feels good. It's real, like not everybody's real smart, but the stupid people are there to make the smart people sound smarter.
Yes. No, my wife and I still quote a few things from that often with Mr. Peanut Butter.
Yes.
To your point, yes, it counts because The Simpsons is clearly mine. As much as I want to say like a live action show, Simpsons is something I quote every 20 minutes of my life for 40 years now. It's a show of our lifetime. It's hard to imagine the world without it because it's been on since 1989.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All these shows. Family Guy debuted in 99. South Park debuted in 97. Bob's Burgers has been on 15, 20 years. And I was like, crazy how long these animated shows
I remember
run.
when South Park, I remember when South Park was, everybody was talking, like, everybody was like, oh, did you hear about that show, South Park? Like, it's cartoons saying bad words. Like, it was the talk of the town. We all went over to my friend Dave's house.
went to a bar to watch it in Ybor City, a section of Tampa that was that big for a moment where people were going to the bars to watch it on the night it aired.
You weren't old enough, were you?
Yes.
1997? No.
Not to drink, but I was able to go into
Oh, but you could go. Okay.
places, yeah.
Well, I was at Dave's house.
They have wristbands.
Okay.
Shout out, Dave. Yeah, live action, though, I would say, yeah, Seinfeld's probably, it was a very seminal one for me. Modern ones, I would say Party Down is a certain comfort show. Yes. Including that Stars season they just did pretty recently was really funny also.
Yeah, same.
How about favorite comedy movie?
So I feel like I have to say Tommy Boy or Billy Madison. Like I have to. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy's near and dear to my heart. I was always a Farley fan.
Yeah. That is actually the only movie I think in the world that I can quote besides Rid of Me. But with Rid of Me, no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right? Clearly. I don't think I've ever heard of it. I can't wait to look it up.
No, you're never going to find it. Yeah.
Yeah. I usually my go-to answer for this is Monty Python Holy Grail. I watched that way too much when I was younger and impressionable and that kind of stuff. But I'm not hard to please. I I saw the Jackass movies in the theater too. The Apatow movies for the most part. I still think Superbad's insanely funny and Step Brothers. Dang it. No, I don't want to change it. But Step Brothers was the best movie. Okay. Well, I'm just going to name every movie I've ever seen. Step Brothers was the best movie I've ever seen, like, in the theater. Like, as an experience?
Yes. Like, yeah. I just remember, like, the people I was with, like, we just kept looking at each other like, is this the fucking best, funniest movie in the world? Like, we just kept leaning over and, like, looking at each other. Like,
that's a big part of it. They did that? Yeah. You remember just cackling like crazy at a theater. It's like, helps experience.
Yeah.
Trying to think if we had that with anything. Well, strangely enough, Mars Attacks. I know, like, some people don't love that movie, but my buddy Mike and I were in tears. Like, the opening scene of the movie, a bunch of cows run over the hill. Like, is that barbecue? And it was like cows were on fire. And just every time they back, we were just cackling like idiots. We might have been enhanced on edibles or something at the time. But still,
yeah, that probably helped.
Really fun theatrical experience. But and then you have a tangential relationship with this. So what would you say is your favorite comic book run or comic book title or maybe mini graphic novel, even if it's a contained?
If I had to say, I would say Revival, Hack Slash. For real though, I think Hack Slash is probably the like in Revival, like the longest I stuck with any comic. Like I don't read them as much as I do now. Like so, like 2010s, 11s, like like Walking Dead. Everybody read that. So did I. Me too. Preacher.
I was a fan of Preacher, yeah. I didn't finish it, but I did have a good amount of that initial run of it.
Arseface. Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Bottle. Yeah.
No, but Liz is not just saying that to garner points. In fact, the way we found Liz, just to clarify to fans who might think she's just sucking up, Luke found you via Tim Seeley, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So like when we were like, oh my gosh, the person had fallen out to help us out here. We're like, who do we know? And Tim's like, you should talk to Liz MacArthur. And I was like, she sounds horrible. Yeah. And then it turns out he was right.
He was right.
No, okay, no.
Yeah. You hear what her favorite movie was?
Yeah, Rid of Me. I can't wait to be rid of her. Am I right? I'm kidding.
We're almost there, bud.
No, I'm kidding. So I've had a couple answers for this over the years. I read some Grant Morrison, some Alan Moore, some of the real seminal stuff that Moore did, like Watchmen and other things. But Frank Miller, a lot of people laud his Dark Knight Returns, which, Zack Snyder really liked and used it and ruined the DCEU at the time. But I'm not the biggest fan of that so much as I was a big fan of his Batman Year One, which is an influential one that kind of influenced Batman Begins and other things. But really, his Daredevil Man Without Fear run is what made that character awesome to me. I really love that story. The first season of the Netflix Daredevil is kind of based on that run. And then in more recent years, Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye run was really good. That the they took some pieces of that for the Disney Plus series. But yeah, I'm with you though.
You're
There's
all
a lot
superhero.
of. I was about to say I'm with you. There's a lot of non-superhero stuff I do like though. Revival, even though I apparently did not remember the ending or didn't get that far. I do like Hack Slash. I do like. I'm trying to think of what's on my shelf right now that is not superhero-y. I've done all the normal, From Hell and 30 Days of Night and a lot of stuff that's been converted
I
into
forgot about
movies.
that one.
There's a lot of good little one-offs. DMZ, 100 Bullets, stuff like that. So
Fables, remember that one?
Oh yeah, Bill Williamson. I have a couple of hardcover collections of that one too.
Is
Saga.
that still happening? Oh my God, yeah.
I don't know if he's still happening. I think he out himself as like a crazy libertarian or something. I don't know. I'm speaking out of school. Watch him be like, not that at all. I thought I remember that happening. So I thought for sure you'd like name something directly related to you. So good for you. What you're going to say like that thing my husband made in 2018.
No, don't care.
Well, you're age appropriate for this. Not everyone is, but I have to ask you, who's your favorite Muppet?
Oh, this is a tough question. No, Gonzo. When I was a kid, it was Fozzie because I wanted to be a comedian, and he was a comedian. He's stand-up bear. Everybody knows him around the world. It's the stand-up comedy bear.
Yes.
But then as I matured, I preferred the weirdo.
Yeah. Gonzo's pretty great.
Yeah. I was one year I made a Gonzo costume. I paper mache a Gonzo head and made, that was Gonzo. It was the best Halloween costume I ever made.
Very cool. When the show came to Disney Plus a few years back during the pandemic, we did start barreling through it. And I had forgotten how much I love Uncle Deadly. I'm so glad that he showed up in one of the new movies in the big Jason Segel kind of rebooted movie. He's one of my favorites, but of the main characters, it truly has always been Kermit. I know he's like a easy, obvious answer, but kid makes me happy. And speaking of songs that give you emotions, that Rainbow Connection opening scene of the Muppet movie that seems to affect everybody I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think you can listen to that in any form. You don't even need to be like watching anything that comes on. Single tear.
I'm still amazed at the magic trick of how like Jim Henson's in a vessel underneath the water doing that. Like it's that and Kermit riding that bike in the movie. I'm like, how do they do that? Still to this day.
Know.
I'm in the business and I've seen how sausage is made and I still get like wowed by the stupidest things.
Not stupid. That
I still don't know how a record has grooves and sound is on them. It's amazing to me.
Well, it's simple. Let me explain it to you.
Yes, I know. I've seen it explained to me and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
How sound is captured on there.
Duh, you're so dumb.
I know. It's true. Speaking of music, we have a couple music questions. We've asked a few people, including CM Punk, this, but do you have a favorite concert experience or a very memorable concert you attended that's always stuck out to you?
I literally do. First of all, they're all, if I like the band or whatever, they're all like church. It is always like church. I will cry. Like I will, no matter what. But the best, I remember when this happened. I was at a Less Than Jake concert in like 1998, and it was with all my high school friends were there, and I remember being in the crowd, and I don't know what they were singing, but I had like one of my friends was like about to jump, like stage dive. One of my friends was like right here, like I was like he was, what is it, crowd surfing or whatever?
Yep,
yeah,
crowd surfing.
Yeah, like the dude I'm married to, but we were just dating, like right here. I remember like looking around and everywhere I looked, like I was like, all my friends are here, and I started like crying, and I was like, I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life.
So far, so good.
And here we are, 70 years later.
Oh man, we're not that close.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close. It's closer than it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer than it is to zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Gosh, I have a few that stand out. I think I told this story the first time this was asked of me, but we were in LA and this is 2001 or 2. And I happened to be joyriding one morning because we don't have normal 9-to-5 jobs yet. And we're just trying to find things to do. And we're down near Sunset Strip. And they go, hey, tonight Weezer's playing at Whiskey A Go Go. First 500 people who show up here get the 500 tickets to it. and we were like 2 blocks away, and we grabbed that, and then that night went to see Weezer. And again, I've seen Weezer in like an arena show, and they're not the most exciting band in that environment, but the night I saw them, spitting distance to River, like with 500 people, it was one of the greatest concert experiences of my life.
Oh my God.
I've had a few very fortunate things. I've been able to see Roger Waters do The Wall, and been able to see David Gilmour do his set. So I feel like I've seen Pink Floyd, seen Page and Plant, who did like 70% of a Zeppelin set with their tour. So I feel like I saw them. Seen the Stones. Haven't seen a Beatle. Missed Paul McCartney a couple of years ago. Wish I had seen him. But yeah, I've been lucky in that regard. Saw the Who. So like a lot of the big iconic ones I've knocked out. But yeah, a lot do stand out. But for whatever reason, that Weezer show was just like perfect time, perfect place. And then we had like the coolest show that night. This is well before they became the Weezer that they are now. This is back when they were playing a lot of their first 3 or so albums that were really good.
You know what? I just thought of something else. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, one, so I used to work at my college radio station, so we got to like go to stuff for free all the time. But one, I remember getting a phone call at my house on our house phone, and someone from the station called, and they were like, "Liz, do you want to go see some concert tonight? It's free. They're trying to like get people in there." And I was like, "What is it?" And they were like, "Some guy named Kid Rock." And I was like, "What is it?" And they were like, "He's like rap Rocky." And I was like, "I absolutely don't want to see that." Yeah. And it was like at like a tiny club. I don't think I would have gone even knowing what he was turning into. But I love that I rejected Kid Rock from the beginning. 2, I got to, do you remember the band Goldfinger?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I got to interview them on their tour bus for because I worked at the radio station. And my very first taste of vegan ice cream was the lead singer of Goldfinger feeding it to me.
Oh, that's an experience.
Yep. He was like, "Do you want to try some vegan ice cream?" And I was like, "What?" Okay. And I remember the guy behind him, somebody else in the band, was just eating Doritos.
Nice.
Yeah. So that I guess was a brag.
No, that's a fun story.
Okay.
I'm assessing because you mentioned Less Than Jake and Goldfinger. So Aaron has talked about this on this very show, how his brother Damon really like fell into punk in the late 90s. He was a couple years behind us, just 3 years behind us, I believe. And we learned some of those bands from him. We got into them ourselves. My wife is 5 years behind me, and pop punk was her thing. So Less Than Jake is one of the first bands she ever was like found on her own, not through like the radio her parents listened to. And she became a big New Found Glory fan.
Oh my God.
Wrote a letter to Jordan, asked him to prom. He said he couldn't because they were touring.
If he wasn't busy.
Yeah, we just saw them last week actually with Jimmy Eat World and the Offspring on that tour that the Offspring is doing. So yeah, we're still seeing shows like Young People on Wednesdays.
Yeah. I mean, Less Than Jake is still like on Wednesdays.
Oh, they do cruises and stuff, right? They were one of the first cruise bands. I
hate a cruise, but I am tempted. They're just still like I wouldn't go to see every band that I probably wouldn't go see Goldfinger now. But I would go see Less Than Jake almost any time they come here.
Yeah.
They're just fun.
They were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sky's due for a comeback. Let's go.
Hey, it's just fun. All the horns, guys.
I know. What's wrong with horns? Worked for Chicago. Why can't I work for all these punk bands?
I don't know.
And then similarly, what would be your go-to karaoke song? I don't know if you have one, but I feel like you do.
So how about I did? And
it was a soundtrack of Rid of Me. You've never heard of it? You've never heard of it,
actually. At my wedding, we did karaoke, and my song was "Don't Stop Believin'," but just like, so the year was 2006. Okay. That wasn't everybody's song back then. It was just me and a lot of other people. But that was my go. It was honestly just the only song that I could sing and sound.
Was that pre or post the Sopranos finale, which famously used that? Do you remember?
I don't know. 2000. It was 2005. April 2005 is when did I say 2006?
You did. Uh-oh. Telling your husband.
Yikes.
Got the dates wrong.
Yeah. Somebody tell us. I don't know.
It's okay. We got married in 2012, and this was at a time where like people were changing their Facebook status on the altar, like to to married and stuff. And my wife and I were like, that's so stupid. And we did it 2 whole days later. And to this day, Facebook thinks I got married on October 22nd because we never went back and changed it to the proper date.
That's
I'm
so
like,
annoying.
oh God, I'll do it one day.
See, what you got to do is get your Facebook hacked
And throw it away. Oh,
and then throw it away. That's what happened to me.
Working on that slowly but surely.
If you want me to hack your Facebook, I can't. But
I would like someone to hack up some of the people that run Facebook.
Hey, yeah,
that's a different story.
Yeah. Different story. Different podcast.
I don't know. Yeah, don't have to hack them. Maim them. I don't know.
Slash.
Yes. Speaking of Guns N' Roses guitarist, what would be your walkout music, whether it's coming out for a TED Talk or to introduce, Tim and Mike for a comic thing and your husband, or if you want to come out as a boxer, baseball player, whatever, however you want to frame it. What's pumping up the crowd to introduce Liz MacArthur?
I want a different song to come into my head. But it's everybody's pump up song. It's close. It's close. Dancing on My Own by Robin.
Okay.
Is that what everybody would choose?
No, but
no?
I know the song. Robin with a Y. We know Robin.
Yeah. That's not yours? I assumed I was stealing your answer.
I'm not sure if I have one, to be quite honest. Let's see. What's a good... I've suggested a few to my son for his baseball walkout music. Like if I had to pick something in a pinch right now that's just got a good like opening riff, I would say like Hysteria by Muse maybe. But again, that's because I haven't... Oh, it's the riff. I can't do the riff.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll look it up later.
When the Levee Breaks, cool intro by Zeppelin, something like that. Something hard,
with
something
guitars.
Fast. Yeah.
Okay.
Like bands. Like bands do.
With drums? Something with drums?
Like bands not named Keen do have guitars in them.
So no horns then?
Horns. Okay, the impression that I get, Mighty Mighty Boston.
Oh, a much hornier song.
Yeah. See what you did there.
Yep.
Let's see. Finally, we're going to ask the question that has gotten you so much gold throughout this podcast.
Oh, no.
Do you have any outside the box hobbies or things you do to pass the time that are not just a day job or, playing Block Blast or Candy Crush or something?
Okay. Lately, I have been playing a lot of Mario Kart 8, but I don't consider that a hobby.
What device is that on, or what console?
Switch.
Oh, sorry, I'm old. I won't buy my kids
That's the only game. It's the only game I think I've kept up with. I think. Okay. I don't want that doesn't count though.
Love the N64 version. Aaron and I would play that.
That's the best one.
The battle mode back in the
GoldenEye. Yeah, you just
battle mode on both of those.
Yeah, you just went to your friend's house and you landmined everybody. Basically,
so clearly the same age as us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's all we did. Did you play Mario Party? Because we also played Mario Party.
Not really that one. It was mostly Kart.
Okay. It was Mario Kart, GoldenEye, and Mario Party for us. No, wait, I have an answer. Okay, me and the dude I'm married to own a vintage toy store in Chicago.
Yes. And
we have like every couple months the pop art, not pop art, what am I trying to say? Like we had a Muppets themed art show. We're about to have a Pee Wee Herman. We're having a Pee Wee Herman themed art show. Yeah. That's September 12th, I think.
Okay. You're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Once this happens and the people who are there, is there some way to people can go online and see what was there and buy such things that don't get bought at the show? How does that work?
Yeah. We have an Instagram.
There you go.
Toy du jour. It's DE because we're stupid. Toy du jour.
I'm so dumb to not know that was you guys who have been liking and sharing on the Instagram. Mm-hmm. That's my bad for not picking up what you're putting
Surprise.
down. No,
not your stalker.
I'll make sure to follow it if I have not already. On my personals as well.
Thank you. But also, when we do those shows, I by default get to create things if I want to. And so we've done a chicken nugget show the last few years.
Okay.
It's just chicken nugget themed. And I made a 5 foot tall chicken nugget that someone bought for $2,500.
Now, you mentioned you have paper mache before. Is this a wire frame and a paper mache nugget? How do you make a 5 foot nugget?
It's wire frame. It took me a month to make this, all my free time. wireframe, paper mache, great stuff. Sanding. I lost my fingerprints on my hands because I was smoothing.
Oh, cool. Commit some crimes.
Yeah, I know. I think they kind of grew back, but
Boo.
my finger pads, I had to wear Band-Aids on all my finger pads for like a week. Anyway, so randomly I will get to create like something stupid, and that's maybe the best thing that I ever.
You said free time. Sounds like it was $2,500 worth of time.
I mean,
good for you getting it bought.
Well, here's what happened though. We weren't going to sell it. We weren't going to sell. I put $2,500 on it because I was like, well, we're just going to have it in the store. Nobody's going to buy this.
Right.
And so when we have a show, then we have an Instagram sale for everything that's left. And we posted that. And 5 minutes later, the dude I'm married to looked at me and he goes, oh no. And I was like, what? And he goes, the nugget sold. And I was like, what? It was the first thing. So, but he has a good home now. They sent us pictures of him like laying in their bed and in different rooms in their house.
So it's like portable. It's well crafted enough that you can move it around.
I mean, it was then. I don't.
Did the person who buy this, was he in a black and white striped outfit, and was he named the Hamburglar?
I don't know. I couldn't understand his name. He just kept saying Murgle.
Dominic.
Maybe his name was Burgle.
So. That is cool enough that you guys own a toy store in Chicago. That alone is like a good enough answer. But the fact that you have paper mache a giant nugget and sold it is impressive.
Yeah, I can die now.
It's funny. The word hobby denotes like you spend time on it. I don't think I have a hobby because working, being a present father and husband is all the jobs. So the free time becomes non-existent, but I do collect weird things. Like I have these DVD shelves keep going that way. So around the wall, super collector edition stuff. But no, as far as like, I do collect a lot of weird things. It's such a mishmash. There's a walk-in closet in this office that just has every knickknack ever on a gajillion IKEA floating shelves. And I will say like specific stuff is collect a lot of Max Headroom artifacts.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, even the other day on Blue Sky, I was like, oh my God, I was sleepy one night. I like went and found on eBay a couple childhood posters I had. And one of them was a Max Headroom door poster that I had on the back of my bedroom wall. And somebody had an unopened one, and it's sitting next to me here, funny enough. But yeah, I mean, just to prove my point, something's sitting right next to me that I have that I...
Of course, yeah. You just gotta have it next to you.
It's so weirdly specific, but I don't know why, but that show was one of the first shows that just really hit me. You know, it was a TV movie made by the BBC, and then it became a ABC TV series, short-lived, but it's kind of more famous now for popping up in other 80s things like Back to the Future 2, and it's in the 80s Cafe. And then, the real life, the guy really did break into a news feed with a Max Headroom mask on, years ago.
I remember that.
TV. So, yeah. That's rather hyper specific. I'll say that's my outside the box hobby.
I don't think I realized.
Bird rescuing.
No, it's not. It really isn't. I don't think I knew that Max Headroom was his own thing. I thought he was like special guest star to the 80s.
So again, started as a TV movie where the guy does get kind of trapped and it turned into a series, and it predicted a lot of stuff like ChatGPT and deep fakes and a lot of internet stuff that now we think is just the norm. But Sci-Fi Show at the time was really ahead of the curve. But it's funny too because it won an award for like best CGI, and then it turns out it was just Matt Frewer in makeup on a blue screen. There was no CGI. Like that's just him and some makeup. But MTV ended up giving him like a show where he was sort of a host. So he has become that guy, the way Weird Al had that show where he would do like fake interviews and stuff like that. He did have extra stuff where you see little snippets of him. So I think that's why maybe you associate him with just
everything.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things I would love to tackle a reboot of because there's so much ripe modern, it's about a TV network controlling all your information and what they feed you. And
doesn't sound familiar.
in a very dystopian.
Cannot relate to that. Related, not related. I had a friend in high school who had a really big head, And we used to call him Max Headroom because he needed a lot of room for his head.
Yes.
Yeah.
The things we do to our friends, we love, treat them like shit.
We were mean in the 90s, okay? We're nice now.
We're getting better. We're still pretty mean to the people we love.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But we're being nice to the people we don't understand. Hopefully.
Yes.
We're getting there.
We do that now.
So we have rambled a bit. So if you have stuck with us just to get to know a little more about us, we appreciate it in an insane amount, because again, we just wanted to wrap up the season. We wanted to talk to some actual crew folk beyond just actors. And that was a suggestion from Aaron and Luke. And it was a good one because, again, Samir and Kurt were a good time and a fun chat. And Liz has made this easy on me as well this whole time as a fun co-host who was down. So
down to party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last episode, 110, I did a kind of heartfelt thank you and goodbye to her and to the gents, at the end of that season finale recap. So I will not rehash that here, but I will just give a sincere thanks to all of you out there in listener land who've kind of gave feedback, listened, tuned in to any or all of these episodes, these interviews, who submitted questions, who've given us any kind of feedback, shown some love, shared it on socials, including Toy du Jour. I will make sure to shout them out too. But no, sincerely, thank you all for interacting with this show for the past several weeks. It has been a fun ride, and I'm very glad to have been a part of it.
I loved it. Best way to watch a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wouldn't
be on a podcast.
It's going to be a bummer. The next show I start, I'm like, wait.
I know.
Can I call the producers room?
I know. I've got questions.
Right. And hopefully they'll have answers, as Aaron and Luke did. But yes, one last time, I will say that this season of Revival is in the books, as is this episode and this compendium recap podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you once again to our guests, Kurt and Samir. For Aaron, for Luke, for Liz, I'm Shawn Talley saying toodles.